All right. Hey everyone. Hello and welcome to the stream. My name is Karthik Raghupati and thanks for joining me on my stream. I usually stream from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. in the IST, but today we are going to, I was a bit delayed, so I could not stream today morning. Just going to give it a couple of minutes before we get started. Let's just ensure everything is working fine. If you can hear me all okay, just let me know in the chat. I'm just ensuring this works properly. I feel like I've done this setup so many times, but every time I start, there's always some issues. I hope you folks can hear me all right. I just don't want to go on to speaking something for a while and then realizing no one caught what I was trying to say. So yeah, awesome. Satya Bhatt is here. Hey Satya Bhatt, welcome to the stream. Really appreciate joining in the stream. Oh, my music volume was a bit too loud. Okay, I'll keep that in mind, Satya. I think I need to reduce the volume. I will do that. Perfect. So yeah, before we get started, I was supposed to stream today morning from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. as the usual time last week, and we are going to stick to that time. I was delayed today morning because I got my vaccination on Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday just went away just in recovering from the vaccine. So yes, so first of all, I got vaccinated. I got the Covishield dose, and felt really good after getting the vaccine. Like, it feels like, okay, I am now somewhat safe from COVID. So can't wait for my second dose of the Covishield vaccine. Hopefully it comes across soon, and super excited to get my vaccine soon, and hopefully everyone gets vaccinated soon and COVID goes away pretty soon, and we can all go back to as if everything was back to normal, right? So that is that. So I will be streaming tomorrow morning at 6 to 7 a.m. So do join in on that time as well. 6 to 7 a.m. IST. The schedule is on the schedule page of Twitch, so you can go check that out and join me for my stream. So today, before we get started, I wanted to share this one small achievement with you folks, and I really appreciate everyone taking out time and joining the streams. So recently, and I was just going through my analytics, so let me just show it to you folks. Let's go in here, channel analytics, and let's open this up. So let's just look at what's been happening with my streaming update. There you go. So I recently streamed for almost close to 100 hours, 101 hour and 11 minutes, and of course today is going to add up to that, and we've got almost close to 25,000 minutes watched. So yeah, and we've had roughly around 650 unique viewers, and I think we've got a number here for followers as well. Yeah, almost 183 follows, but I think we only have 157 follows. I'm not sure, maybe people followed and then unfollowed me back, but maybe that's the reason. So yeah, that kind of sort of feels an achievement, because I started almost before. So this was not something I started because of the pandemic. I had plans to do this even if there was no pandemic. As you can see, I started streaming around February 22nd, then across March 10th. Yeah, I did do a bit of streaming, and back then COVID, I mean, there were traces of COVID. It was just getting started in China, and there was nothing like a pandemic at all in the entire world. The situation was way different, and yeah, I mean, I thought, why not just jump onto my own Twitch stream and do cool stuff. And so far we've streamed close to 101 hours, and you can see that there's a bit of drops here and there, and that's because I was kind of moving here and there, and then there was like this big gap where I was not able to stream because, well, the pandemic did not let me, the second wave in India rather. But having said that, I think that's a really good number to look at, 100 hours streamed so far. And of course, shout out to Kevin Evans, TC, and Gold Zulu, and all the subscribers who have very generously subscribed to the channel. Really appreciate all the subscriptions that you folks have done to the channel. So having said that, yep, those are the numbers. I again thank you so much folks for joining me on my stream. I really appreciate. This is kind of like a fun activity for me. I get to do something that I love, and at the same time get to hang out with people who also like to see me code, hopefully. So yeah, that's my speech for the day, and I think we should get into what we were doing before, which is getting back to our project. So that's what we are going to do. What we are going to do today is continue building our skill. So let's just open up the terminal, and I think we need to open up the command prompt as well. Terminal, nope, we need the command prompt. There we go. Okay, so the very first thing that we need to do is let's go to read drive, let's go to projects, and let's run ngrok on port 3001. What is happening? There we go. So we have the port here, and what we need to do now is, let's go here, CD projects, dir, DynamoDB local letters to dir. Okay, and in DynamoDB we are going to run this function, run this command. How many of you on the stream have gotten their vaccination so far, by the way? And which vaccine did you folks get? I'd love to know that. And by the way, in case you guys, or in case you folks cannot listen to that, you might hear a bit of ambient music in the background, and that is basically the thunderstorms that are going out live there. So where I am from, Nagpur, it's raining right now, and there's like a lot of wind and storms in here, so you can maybe listen to that. Oh, it's raining in I'm not sure, Satya, where are you from? You're in Romania, right? I'm sorry, I'm really terrible at this. Port 2525. So we are going to run the Dynamo, Bucharest. Oh, it's raining in Bucharest as well. Nice. So we are going to run DynamoDB local on 2525, right, on that port. And what else? Okay, so now what we need to do is, let's go in here, let's start debugging, and the debugger opens up. This is kind of stuff that we need to keep doing every time we start development, but that's okay. I mean, I don't mind putting in that much effort at the start of every development session. Let's open up our terminal, let's copy this, let's go into the developer console. Let's go into endpoints, update the endpoint, and my development endpoint is a subdomain. Let's save the endpoints, let's test it. Open Wordcatcher.
There was a problem communicating with the requested skill.
Why was there a problem communicating with the skill? What? Are we getting the request? Okay, it doesn't look like we are getting the request. Okay. Okay, I just had a bit of dropped frames in there, so not sure if you folks can still hear me. If you can still hear me, please let me know. I can see I'm back to green though, so hopefully I'm back to normal. Let me just, I think the development endpoint SSL certificate was not saved properly, so that's why we were having this issue, but we're done now. Test. Open Wordcatcher. What is happening? Oh, okay, now I think we are back in here. Yeah, so now let's open up our code, and the last time we were stuck in here and we were trying to figure out how to solve this issue. So here's what we had done last time. So last time we were successfully able to get, okay, not sure if you folks can hear some weird noises in here. My air conditioning unit is kind of acting up, so let me just switch that off just to be safe. Yeah. Okay, so what we are trying to do here is we are getting the last answered day. Yeah, that was my air conditioning unit growling for sure. So here's where we are stuck, right? Did we just, where's the, let's open the console, Vivo console. The last answered day is 154. Yeah, so we are here, and if it is not current, it should ask today's question, but because of this entire await stuff, I kind of feel like this is not working. So that's what we are going to debug today and get it to work. Let's take this one by one, right? So the very first thing that we need to do is, let's go into the questions.js file. I believe we are in week 24, so let me just go in and add week 24 here. Same question set, let's just make it week 24. Yeah, and oh yeah, you know what, we'll need to open up NoSQL Workbench. Control D, is that what I need to do? No, Command D. Yeah, NoSQL Workbench. That just minimized everything, so let me just bring this up. Okay, perfect. Operation builder, local connection. Yeah, this is a table that we are working on. So let's reload. Okay, scan. So this user, the last answer day is 154, right? So now what happens is, if we have the last answer, I kind of believe like we are getting this value, but it is not equal to current day, because I believe the current day would be something like 157, 158. So today might be the 158th day of the year. So the code does come into here, right? It comes into speak output and it gets added, all of those things. But then here, this is where we are getting stuck, right? It's not taking the value. So let's see what's up with that. So kind of feel like it has, I'm pretty sure it has something to do with async, await, and promises. And no matter how many times I do that, I still stumble into this issue. So let's figure out. Oops. Okay, that's my Bluetooth keyboard acting erratic. Okay, let's get started. So console.log, let's confirm we are reaching here, right? Let's do that, and then we are reaching here, and then we are reaching here, right? I just want to first ensure if the functions that we have used are correct. I mean, if that works fine, then I think we are good to go, right? I mean, we just want to ensure that whatever methods we return, all of them are proper, right? That's what we are going to first verify. So exit. And open Wordcatcher. Yeah, so that is interesting, right? So like, if you notice this, oh, wait a minute. No, yeah, I think this is getting closed here itself, right? Why does this not go ahead? Huh, interesting. I wonder why. Is it because I'm okay? Let's look into this. I think we used this reference code from the. I think we are using the DynamoDB stuff, right? Let's get item DynamoDB. Yeah, this one. And we don't want document client. Interesting. I think sphere, I could see this somewhere here. Let's close all this stuff. Don't need. So I'm just wondering if this is the function. never reaching here, and I wonder why. That's my first problem. Get item Node.js. Let's just get item Node.js DynamoDB. By the way, if anyone wants to help debug me, the code is on my GitHub, so would really appreciate any kind of debug help. How to retrieve an item in DynamoDB table? Yeah, so this is what we are looking at, right? Oops. Reading and writing. Yeah, so this is what we've been looking to, right? Not put item. Where's get item? Yeah, this is what we've been looking at. If I just remove this await, and I don't think we need async as well. So I mean async needs await. So let's see what happens if I remove that. Pretty sure, like having messed around with Node.js so much, I realized that with promises and async await, the way to make it work is by trying to delete one of them and seeing let it work, right? So that doesn't seem to work as well. Async await, removing async await does not work as well, which is really weird, right? You're calling this function, then function never really. Okay, how about this though? Yeah, let's do this. Let's do a debug, right? Let's exit.
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
Run, start debugging. Okay, and what we are going to do here is let's reload the page. Open Wordcatcher. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there you go. How do I go next here? Pretty sure. Okay, I've never done this, but how do I do next here?
The requested skill did not provide a valid response.
Step into? Yeah, step into. Oh, okay. Step into is not going to help me much. Step out. Yeah, there we go, right? Step out. Oh, okay. Continue. The requested skill did not provide a valid. Okay, then we are reaching here. What is it that we sent as a response? Okay, so we sent an empty string there, and that's because this one did not work out, right? So, oh, thanks for redeeming the hydrate one, Monish, but I do not have. My water bottle is fully empty, but I'll definitely make point to go and drink water once I'm back. But yeah, welcome to the stream, Monish. I hope you're doing well and staying safe. God. You know, I kind of feel like, and this is one thing, as we are talking about 100 hours of streaming, right? I think this is one thing I've learned, like things that are really, really easy, and if I were not streaming, I would maybe figure this out in some way or the other. But when I'm kind of streaming, it kind of puts me in like the spotlight, and I'm not saying performance pressure per se, but yeah, I kind of feel like, oh man, I cannot go wrong. But that way streaming has been really humbling in the sense that I kind of saw a lot of other people stream, and this looks like things that people kind of keep getting into, right? Like these are things that and this is what programming is all about. It's not basic stuff like this you may have done 1,000 times, and yet you might have to just go back and refer again and again. And some of those things maybe you will understand and maybe never have to look up again, but some of those things you might have to keep looking up again and again. And that's really true in my case. So right now what we are trying to figure out is why does, even after putting in await, and I kind of feel like maybe we might have to wrap it within a promise, and maybe we'll get to that point, but why is it that even after using await and async functions, the code control doesn't flow properly? That's what we are trying to handle. Hopefully we are able to get this work. What am I saying? What am I missing? It just works perfectly fine here. Why would it not work? What are we doing different from here? See, it works perfectly fine here, so why is it that it's not working fine here? Did we miss anything? Oh, you know what? Kind of. Okay, wait. If error, yeah. So when I do not need to use await async for writing to the database, why do I need to use it for reading from the database, right? That makes no sense. Is this because I'm writing to the session attributes? Session attributes dot question is equal to, you know what, let's remove this for the time being, yeah, let's just plain text, nothing else. Let's remove await, yeah, and let's remove async. So my only concern is this: if I'm able to write to the database without an async await or wrapping it within promises, why is it that I need to do for why is this not straightforward? If error, I'm getting the speak output, console.log. Okay, let's do one thing. Console.log value of speak output plus speak output run. Okay, start debugging again. Exit. Open Wordcatcher. That seems to be an empty one again. We are reaching here. Yep. It makes no sense. No sense at all. This is my if else, right? So we are reaching the else function properly, right? And this is my if else. I open this here, this function is here, this function is here. What am I missing? Wait, oh, wait a minute. Are we appending the string to speak output? Okay. We're not appending the string, so maybe that's why. Is that the reason? But I doubt that, because start debugging. Okay, exit, open Wordcatcher. What the it's interesting. I feel like this should be like straightforward, but what am I missing here? I feel like do I need to increase the timeout? Interesting. Okay, so just as a thought experiment, right? Let's say we were to comment out this entire code, right? And let's change this to test, right? We don't care what the welcome prompt is. We just, okay, what just happened? Right, we just want to make sure that I'm going to take this and paste this, comment it out. Stop debugging, right? We are going to try and run this code again, right? Run, start debugging, exit, open Wordcatcher, test. I'm going to say yes. So basically the welcome prompt has been removed now.
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
Unexpected end of JSON input. What's happening? I'm kind of wondering at this point if this is something to do with local debugging. If this is a local debugging issue, and we will check that out. I just feel like it should just work straightforward, right? Open Wordcatcher. Yes.
Monday question.
Clock. Yeah, so now
that is
we've got the correct answer, right? Now
you
when
get
we go
10
in
points.
Here and we scan,
do you want to take a guess at
the last
this
answer
week's
day
theme?
has updated to 158. So here's my question, and this is why this is irritating me. When I write to the database, which is the put item, it's almost the same code, but I get the response. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I kind of think like, I think we need to do some of those promises stuff. I really believe so. Maybe we should just wrap all of this into a promise and just handle it in a better way that way and see if that works, right? Because I kind of feel like, okay, so when we are trying to put some, we are trying to put an item in here, we are not really depending on any data coming in from here. It happens, it happens, it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. The max is we are just printing that data to console. As opposed to the first one where we are trying to get the item, we are doing some form of calculations on that data. So let's do one thing, right? This is where we're going to stop the debugger, and we are going to get into building our own DBHelpers, and we are just going to reuse most of the code. Right, so this is something that I had built a long time back. This is called as the ultimate dialog quiz. So we had some DBHelpers there, so we're going to be reusing some of that, but hopefully in a better way. So what I'm going to do is lambda, let's create a new folder, let's call this custom, and within custom, I think custom is not needed. I think we can just have a new file, or rather let's create a new folder and we can call it as helpers. Let's call it helpers, right? And helpers, we have database.js, right? Now within the database.js is where we'll put in all our code. So what we are going to do here is, let's go up here, let's copy paste this, let's bring it here, right, and yeah, totally. AWS is equal to require AWS 2222222 Control X, right? Control X. Yeah, you come in here, right? Now, I believe we need the table name in there. Or is it okay if I just? Yeah, I think that's fine. We need the table name there as well. Do we need the table name here too? Yeah, let's worry about that later. First of all, AWS is equal to this, AWS is equal to that, and I think we'll also write the logic to configure, update, and all of those things at a later point. I'm not worried about right now. So this is my table name. Okay. Okay, let's create a DBHelper function. DBHelper is equal to function, right? We're just defining a function that we can use within our entire code here. Let's just define that properly. DBHelper. Excuse me, folks. Just like this. Right. There we go. Now, what we are going to do here is DBHelper dot prototype dot get opponent in game. But what we are going to say is get user, right? Because that's what we want. We are defining a function called as user, and we're going to wrap this within a promise, so that I think we do have a user function before as well. Yeah, like you see, we already have a user function, so we're just going to reuse the code. But I'll make sure we'll just walk through the code. So there we have the get user function, and you basically pass the table name, and right, we don't so let's just come back here. So the table name is going to be table name, right? Yep. And what else? The key is going to be user ID, right? So the key is going to be user ID, and we pass the user from here, right? Okay. Yeah, this is the user, and the projection, I don't think we need projection expression, so we could actually remove this now. So let's see how this would work. This is get item, right? Isn't get item supposed to be doc client? So yeah, doc client. Yeah, I think we had a doc client, so we're not using document client. This is seriously some messed up stuff, so let's handle this in a proper way. I think I just need to call this as my DynamoDB dot get item, because that's basically the DynamoDB object, right? So the idea is that it returns a promise, and the promise will resolve the data, and then we'll capture it, right? So that's what we're going to do here. Now, index.js, let's come back here, launch request, index.js, we'll need this constant DBHelper is equal to require helpers / database, and of course our database, we need to define the method. So well, let's just take this, copy this, module.exports, so that we can use that function, right? So this allows us to use that function in here, right? I'm just going to comment out this code because we don't need this anymore. Now what we need to do here is, okay, close to the right, okay. Yeah, I kind of feel like this is what we needed from the starting, and we've done this, like I said, I've done this so many times before using promises, but every time I kind of feel like I start from the scratch. I feel like wanting to reinvent the wheel. We could have just avoided all of those things, but that's okay. We learned an important lesson today, and we don't know what that lesson is, but yeah, what we are going to do here is, we don't need the read params. That's fine, right? The speak output is going to be empty. Oops. It is going to be empty. Let's delete this. And what we are going to do now here is await DBHelper dot get user, right? Dot get user, pass the user ID that we are getting. Once we pass that, dot then I think we'll just need to, how about we just copy this entire code block here, right? That would just make it easier for us, right? Then we don't, okay, so now we get the session attributes, right? So let's just uncomment this code for a while. So if it is an error, that's fine, we don't need to do much, but if it is not, let's just get all of this code. That's what we want, right? And let's put this in here, right? So what we are doing is success is data.item, data.item.last answered day, and let's do this. It's pretty silent in the chat today. I hope folks are around. Okay, so now we've gotten user ID. And what we are doing here is console.log success data.item last day. You put all of this into the then part, right? Pretty much like this, and in the end we just said this is going to be a speak output plus handler input. Yeah, this looks like it kind of, yeah, let's delete all these things, we don't need this, right? I hope this works, man. Are we missing something? Oh yeah, I think we are definitely missing something. For one, we are definitely missing the table name. I don't know why, but I kind of defined the table name at two different places. Who does that? Is that it? Let's run, start debugging. Let's go in here, let's reload the page. I'm going to open Wordcatcher again. I have a feeling this is going to fail, but let's figure that out. Wait, what happened?
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
Debugging. Uncaught error on line number 22. What's on line number 22? Oh, okay. Do I need to put in async here? Start debugging. My DynamoDB is not defined. Where is my DynamoDB not defined? Okay. Oh yeah, I think I need to comment out this code for now. Let's do this later. Okay. So many issues. DBHelper dot my DynamoDB. That work? Okay, kind of feel like how did we define it in here? Table name. Oh, you know what? We did the standard table. Oh, right. Didn't use the custom. Are we using custom here? Yeah, we are using custom here. Sorry. Let's do this. Export variable module. Yes. Right, so exports.region is equal to region, right? So I'm going to do Okay, let's do this. Right, so what I'm doing here is let's module.experts. Oops. Equal to DynamoDB client is my DynamoDB. Then, oops. My DynamoDB and okay. DBHelper is equal to does it just work like this? Nope. I'm just trying to export. I need to pass variable data from the main file to the functions. Yeah, if I do an exports.simple, okay, let's do one thing. And exports dot my DynamoDB is equal to my DynamoDB. It does just work as this. So dot my DynamoDB. No, that worked. Exit. Open Wordcatcher. Okay, missing reach.
There was a
and
problem with the
config.
requested skills response.
What? Okay, we are going to come back to this. I've got an idea. Okay, let me just copy paste this as is. I first want to make sure that that is working, and then we'll come back and take this fight later. It's all about choosing your battles, and I don't know why this is not working. 361. What's wrong with 361? Yeah, I know what's wrong with 361. My DynamoDB. Yep, there we go. And start debugging. Oh god. Okay. Let's. I know we need to define it twice, but this is not ideal. But we will definitely come back to this. Run start debugging. Yeah. There we go. Let's reload this. Right, open Wordcatcher.
You have answered today's
There we go.
question.
That worked. You have answered today's question. Right, so that is really working out. So I think so we'll figure out how to export this properly and all of those things, right? But what's happening here is, if you notice, like I said, what we were really having an issue with was passing on the strings. We were calling the DB helper, right? We were basically calling AWS DynamoDB, and we were getting the response back, but the control used to just pass forward and it would not wait for it to get executed. So we had to wrap it all within a promise. So we just kind of created a new helper file, and within the helper you can just see that we have like a promise and we are resolving and rejecting it. So now the my DynamoDB happens and then it sends it back. Now while we were doing this, we also ran into an issue with how to export this properly, but I believe that's something that we will keep in for tomorrow. But I'm pretty happy that this worked out, right? So let's quickly see what this is supposed to do. So let me just summarize, right? So if I go in here, let's say, can I edit this? I'm not sure if I can edit this. Can I edit this? No. How do I delete it though? Interface based operation, delete item, Wordcatcher dev1, user ID, condition, last answer to string 158, number 1, string. Last answer day string, last answer day string is 158. The partition key is user ID, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, there we go. Delete item successful. We needed to turn this on. That's weird. What? Why is it still here? This is weird. I'm not sure what's happening here. I just did a delete operation, but the delete item did not work properly. Wordcatcher 1 and last answer is equal to string 148. Run. It says delete item was successful. Run. It should just delete, right? Okay, here's what we are going to do. We are going to disable the skill and then we are going to enable the skill again. So that what happens is the user ID gets reset. So now, because this user ID does not exist, what's going to happen is, the code is not going to work, but for a new user, what's going to happen is, it's going to say, so let's come in here. So if we go to the code, what's going to happen here is, if it's a new user, it's going to say, hey, welcome to the skill. But if it's an existing user, it's going to say you have answered today's question. Right, so this is the flow for the new user. So open Wordcatcher. Hey Pranay, hi, welcome to the stream. I hope you can hear me now. See, this is not working again. I'm not sure what's up with that. Oops. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I kind of feel like, do we have the welcome message? Yes, we do. Do we have rules? Yes, we do. And do we have ready? Yeah, we have ready as well. So why is it that this works but this doesn't? I feel like this might be some small issue and maybe we are just overlooking something here. Open Wordcatcher. What the? It says cannot read property. Right, so oh, you know what? This is going to take us a bit more time. But basically what's happening right now, so we've solved one issue though, right? So one issue that we were facing is calling the API, basically calling DynamoDB and getting the response and then going to the next step. That's something that we solved out today. And the way we sorted that out is by creating a helper file and putting all of that API call, the myDynamoDB.getItem API call within a promise, right? And what happens is this way, then we could just handle it in a better way where we can say that, hey, till this happens, don't go forward. And then once it happens, only after that you should go ahead. So that's something that we've done. But now we've run into an issue where it says I cannot read property last answered day of undefined. And that is happening because this new user is not defined in the database. So we are running into an issue where the user is not defined and therefore they do not have the last answered day value. And that's something that we are going to figure out in the next session. But yeah, I think pretty decent progress on this so far. What we are going to do, so let me just open up the work log. What's the date today? 6/7. Okay, let's just write it in here. So on 6/7 we just did our DBHelpers, created the DBHelpers. So we just created the DBHelpers and updated it to a promise. Okay, so what we are going to do tomorrow hopefully is, and this is what we are going to do tomorrow, first we are going to clean up the DBHelper file so we do not have to use the variables twice. Okay, so this is something that we are going to try out tomorrow. After that, what we are going to try is take the DBHelpers file, DBHelpers function, the get user, modify the function in such a way that we check for user availability and not their last game, right? And that's what's happening right now, right? So basically we are looking for their last played game, last answered day basically, and that's not what we are looking, and that's not what we want. We want if the user exists in the database or not. So when you try to say open Wordcatcher, we are going to say, hey, this user does not exist, so let them go through the new flow. That is something that we need to figure out. So this code needs to be modified for that, but that's like a very basic thing. I'm not too concerned about it, but I believe like we've kind of gotten the structure slightly better, and hopefully we solve that out. Well, I think that's it for today. I just did the stream so that I'm just being consistent. I was not, like I said, I was not able to stream today morning because, well, the vaccination fever was just recovering from the vaccination fever, but feeling slightly better now, and hopefully from tomorrow same time 6 a.m. IST we will continue our stream. I really appreciate all of you joining in on the stream. Thank you so much, and thank you for hanging around. Thanks Satya, thanks Monish, and thanks Pranay for hanging around. Really appreciate you folks spending time in here, and see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.